Hi, welcome to Get Personal with Finance. Today I have a question and it's an interesting one. What is the one financial mistake that costs people more than they think? When it comes to personal finance, you're probably thinking maybe that mistake might be buying a car and then it end up like a used car, for example, where it costs so much to fix along the way and people don't add up how much they fixed the car. If they added all up, that fixed that used car, they would have gotten a new car, or buying a home and probably mistaking it for the total cost of like maintenance, ownership. The maintenance, obviously owning the home comes with maintenance, property tax, improvements and everything else that comes with it. I'm saying no, that's not, you're probably thinking those things, but I'm saying no. Or even like, a stretch can be because some people have this idea that they kind of overspent for their education. I argue not so much. What I see is simply, it's an F word. It begins with an F and it's 4 letters. And it's something that is free. So when it comes to personal finance, where I think people make the most mistake with their money, and we talk about, our worth is really around our time and our money, right? The two currencies that we trade every day, is mistaking things to be free. So that to me is the most overlooked, the most to the question, the financial mistake that costs people more than they think. For example, I'll give you one that costs me a lot, which sounds kind of funny because I shared this with a friend of mine and he laughed, is free games. So on your iPad, on your smartphone, on your Android device, on God knows your computer, whatever, right? There are these free games. By definition, you would think it would be free, correct? But no, it's very expensive. Because why? You have to watch a lot of ads, right? That's one thing that costs you time. And not just that, but those ads kind of trigger you to buy more stuff or get lost and distracted in whatever that you're doing. So that's not good. So that's costly. The other thing is, obviously you have to buy extra things to make the game more fun for you, right? Like personalized items to like booster packs or energy, whatever that makes you more competitive or better, that you may save more time because whatever you're playing is better. Kind of funny, right? Again, something that's free that caught your attention that's now costing you so much of your time, distracted from, like I have 2 kids, right? From my family, from my kids, from time spent with loved ones. You get my point. So that's something simple there. Another thing to kind of just make it more relatable is, hey, how about you get 2 free stocks, 3 free stock, a stock that's worth this much, or free trading or free research tools, right? For when it comes to investing, right? Which is kind of the big thing today where everybody is trying to get you to be on their platform. Now let's kind of think that through. They're giving you a free stock. Does that come with any strings attached? Probably, yeah. It means you have to give them a lot of personal information. It means that you have to deposit funds. It means that you have to meet a certain level, their conditions or their, whatever their conditions are to obtain it. But you get my point. Now you're into their world, and now they're feeding you every information to then probably psychologically trigger you to do a lot of trading, because a lot of these free platforms, they make money on order flow, and you can read more about it, but they're not free. There's ways for them that they make money, that you're basically like social media. This is maybe shocking to some of you, but you are their product. They sell you, they sell your information to advertisers, right? That want to advertise to you. So the free service that you're getting is, it's costing you, right? In terms of now your information is out there, and not just that, but how you behave online, your profile, literally how you behave online, the things that you search for, what you're interested in is out there. So you see how the price of free now became a lot more it's not free. I wouldn't even say it's not free, and may be very expensive to you where it costs you in other areas. A funny one that I can think of recently is, I had to get my car serviced. So of course I picked the dealership that had the free car wash. And what do you think when I got the free car wash? One, I'm there at the dealership longer, a lot longer, I didn't realize. And two, and of course I was approached and with various opportunities to buy a new car, trade it in, etc., because the price of used cars have really gone up, and so on and so forth. So you kind of see the price of free there. So I guess where I'm getting at is that you really need to know what you're exchanging for. Free is not free, clearly, and just being self-aware, part of what we talk about a lot on this channel, and the theme is around just personal finance is more personal than just the finance, but the idea that we just need to be more self-aware of how we behave, right? And it has to do with money, of course, and all that feeds our quality of life. But just to be cautious of the fact of how we value our time and money and how we spent that, right? And if somebody's trying to misrepresent or try to fool us or mislead us in some way, we're just more conscious. And that's really important because I think that builds a basis of just being good with your finances. So let me give you some more fun ones just to make this topic fun and personal that I can think of. And I'm sure you have a club membership card, right? I belong to Sam's Club and Costco where I live. And so we get a lot of free samples. So, and you know, the magic between like these clubs doing these warehouse clubs that I belong to, I'm sure some of you belong to, they hand a lot of free samples. And research have shown that the more free samples someone takes, the more they spend at the store. So there you go. So you may have a budget of, let's say, spending $50, but you walk out of there with, I don't know, $150 worth of products, right? There you go. So that may stretch your budget or your spending plan, and that's not good to your finances. And at the end of the day, we don't want to end up in a position at the end of the month to feel regret, to feel that we're not in control, and we look at our credit card statement and we're just in shock. So that's not a good position to be in. And again, you see that with free. So again, it's just know it for what it is, and don't, see it for what it is. Don't be a sucker, right? Like that's kind of the joke with, when you go to a bank, why did they give out, candies that are suckers? Because they take us for a sucker, right? Because they sell us all these financial products that sounds good, but really, is not when you really read things through. Like we talked about where they're saying, hey, we can save you on your mortgage by refinancing. Sir, you would save, $800 a month, but what we don't realize is, my 30-year mortgage is now 20-year mortgage because I spent 10 years paying it down. But when I refinance my home mortgage to a 30-year mortgage, of course my payment's gonna go down. But they didn't tell you that now your balance is being stretched over a longer period of time. So yes, you're paying less monthly, but your mortgage is actually more expensive because now it's stretched over that period of time. So you see that, so they are correct to say that they're saving you money, monthly basis payment, but they're not saving you in your total balance. It's not like you had a balance of, let's say, 500,000, and by refinancing, your balance goes from 500,000 to say 450,000. No, that's not true. So anyways, another one that, speaking of banks, is you get a free checking, free bank account. But again, you have to realize that they're sending you lots of advertisements. They're selling you other financial products. You're now part of their system or ecosystem, whatever you want to call it, their bank, their family, and they're going to sell you. So again, see more distraction, and if you're not firm to go back on what your goals are, what your priorities are when it comes to your personal finances, that you'll be at a loss. Now, somebody else is doing your financial planning, and that's really important to understand, is that are you doing your own financial plan, or somebody else is planning for you and for your family? So it's just something I've learned to be very responsible with my money and to make sure I'm in control as much as possible. And just be conscious of that and ask a lot of questions, right? So, free checking, it comes with minimum balance. And again, they sell you a credit card where the kind of funny thing is, again, when you make a deposit in a bank, let's say you deposit $10,000, they give you a credit card to spend, which is borrowed money. In essence, it's kind of like your own money, but now if you don't pay the full balance every month, it's gonna cost you, say, 15, 25%. So that's kind of weird, right? You give them money and they pay you 1%, and then they give you borrowed money that's kind of based on deposits, which is also your money, but now they're charging you more for it. You see that kind of, anyways, kind of think this through, right? So kind of a fun, this is a fun topic for me, and just I want to bring some things to light that I experienced personally that I see. Let me give you some more. Free consultation. You can meet with us, financial advisor or whatever the case might be. Like I've recently done some improvements in my home. And of course, they're all free consultations, right? A lot of them are. But boy, the price of free, I end up, obviously I went over budget like most people that do home improvements. And that free consultation made me feel very comfortable, or at least my wife, to then want to spend more. And then they gave us more free advice to do this and upgrade this and change this and change that, and before you know it. And free financing, quote unquote, right? Where 0 APR, right? There's no interest for like 3 years, 5 years, right? You see how things add up? But how many people actually can't pay that? And then that's where they make their money, right? In the finance charges, et cetera, et cetera. So that's one. And another one that I really kind of like is free money. Like they literally advertise free money. By spending X on your credit card, you get 2% cash back. But again, that encourages you to spend more, put yourself into more of a spending mode, right? Which is not good when you're talking about you're trying to plan for retirement, to save to buy a home, to save to do this. But here you are trying to spend because they make it easy and they're encouraging you with rewards and tier system and so on and so forth. Like with my credit level, I have access with Amex and I'm at the highest level. They're always priming me or encouraging me to spend more, because don't forget, credit card companies, have you ever wondered how they make money? Is that when you charge, let's say $20 at a restaurant or at a business, do you think that business receives $20? No, they don't. They actually receive $20 minus 3% or 4% or whatever the fee is, right? And that's how Visa, MasterCard, whatever, Discover, et cetera, make money. So they take it from the business. Anyways, it's part of this is also just that theme of critical thinking, right? It's good to be positive, optimistic about our finances, but it's really important to be critical, not critical as in like you're super anal about everything, but just kind of think things through and just ask more questions. So it's just a practice professionally, obviously that's what I do, but it's just a good habit that I picked up that served me really well. And even then I make mistakes, but not as bad, but we're human too, right? So just, it's okay, that's how we learn. Like another one that is interesting is like, free gift cards, right? Where you buy this, you get an extra gift card because they want you to use that to come back as a customer. And so they build that loyalty relationship with you. So you kind of see that everything here has an angle. And just like knowing this stuff, you should kind of use that as a hack to design your own finances, how you prioritize. Like for example, we talked about, don't just think saving is something boring, but kind of do it from an angle where, you know what, I gotta pay me. Like I'm gonna prioritize myself first, so I gotta pay myself first before I pay anybody else, right? Or because I'm that important and I'm top priority. Just another perspective. Other free things that's kind of interesting that, they reinvent and redesign things. The new one is right now is that you can buy it and pay it over 5 months or a year, like these new companies. So again, all of this is to get us to easily spend, but so we can forget about sometimes our priorities almost. But again, if you're organized and you know your priorities and what you need to spend on, what's a need, what's a want, what's a priority, then we're not easily trapped or misled or to be easily pulled, to just buy something for the sake of buying it, but we really have to think. So knowing this and having just a good reflectiveness or conversation just on the topic of free is like what we're having is a good start. And so, rebates, like how many people actually turn in rebates, right? Unless the instant rebate ones, that's different. But a long time ago, my gosh, I remember buying a computer at Fry's, which is now no longer in business. I would get a big rebate, but you have to fill out the form, cut the, the serial number and mail it back. How do people actually do that? Just do research. You realize it's like extremely low, and they know that, right? Rebates, coupons, right? All these things are really another way for them to make you feel like you're winning, but they're really the ones winning because they're getting you in different ways. Like for example, like an MSRP, right? Like a retail price is, let's say if I was a business, and this is how they do it, part of marketing. I want to sell it for $50. Well, I can't say that. I want to price it at I want to price at $89 and then have a sale to show on the price tag that, oh, if you buy now, you get 20% off or 30% off, and now it's $49.99. They wanted to sell it at $49.99, but what they're doing is, they have to create an artificial price really, right? That's this high to then show that there's a discount. So another common one that I see a lot when I review my clients, just their finances and the various things that they have in review is insurance. So generally they would go buy insurance from, I won't mention a company, but you get home, auto, and then you would buy life insurance. And if you buy everything together, they give you a discount. Well, heck, where's that discount? They're the one making the price. I mean, what's to say? Well, I mean, basically they're making a higher price so they can then, present some type of discount to you on paper, so to show that you're getting some deal. But a lot of the times where if I price it separately for my clients, let's say life insurance separately and home and auto stays the same, the life insurance is actually cheaper instead of just bundling with auto, home, and then life insurance, even though they show you like a big $500 savings. But again, they increase the price to get you that, or it's what's called a loss leader, right? Like Black Friday where, some store has a big screen TV and they use that as a loss leader to draw people in, where everything else, it's not really much on sale, but people are so primed to spend, they'll just spend and, pay, they don't get the best deal. So same thing there, where they're getting you in with something really cheap like auto or home or whatever product, or a really good CD rate, and then they sell you in every other thing. Does that make sense? So it's a business. So they get you in different angles where they would lure you in with something, and there's that, right? Or they give you something free, like, oh, you get free lifetime, fill in the blank, whatever it is, right? Like credit monitoring, that's a common one. But you end up paying for all this, right? So there you go. It's very interesting, but again, be aware because it's your money. And you want to make sure you spend it wisely, right? And appropriately. It's really important. And so let's extract this to more on the subject of free, where people make the mistake. So they don't call it free, they call it no cost. Like no costs, like this fund or investment, like a CD, there's no fees to a CD, right? But they charge you if you were to take your money out early, and the CD is also, they would tell you, oh, there's no risk to it or something to that effect. But because you're exchanging the no risk to basically miss opportunities. So when the market went up 10, 15%, you got a whopping 2%. So you see the price of no cost, no fees, risk-free, or whatever words they use, it's insured. There's your cost, right? There you go. So maybe change that by putting very little, like less into a CD, and then a little bit diversify, right? And balance out your portfolio or your planning. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's not as clear as you may think, because I think a lot of people, the general consumer, they just kind of go every day just without really thinking through things, or not thinking through things, but just not aware. And so part of being financially responsible and finding your own success is just being more self-aware. So like these things that are given, again, something else has to give. And so that's why there's a saying that goes, there's no free lunch, right? So just like they can offer, so like your consumer is misled to think that, oh, I'm getting this, like this is really safe and my money's gonna, then they're giving up something. But they're never told that, of course, because the salesperson, whoever is working with them, is not giving them the whole picture. And that's why, you know, this channel is important and what we talk about is important. So to get you to think a little bit more comprehensively, so you don't get suckered in by, oh, this is a really safe investment, or this is a, whatever that sounds, it's like a version of free, right? To stretch a little bit, it's like a version of free. So just be critical about that, because you're not hearing the whole story. There's always, again, a give and a take, or an exchange for something, lower risk for lower return, like something that is fixed, you know, or safe, has a longer term, that you're stuck in there for 4 or 5 years or 10 years or 12 years. So there's always an exchange. So that's, you know, more to the realm of our just financial planning and making good financial decisions. Another one is, another common phrase is penny wise and pound foolish, right? Think of this like, like similar to, you know, those other sayings. This is a good one, because sometimes we're so focused on saving money that, you know, a penny is worth very little, a pound is worth more. That's kind of where that saying is. So I'm saving money by having very cheap auto insurance, even though I drive a lot. So imagine if I get into a car accident, it's gonna cost me way more than what I save. Or instead of, you know, playing video games that are, you know, may cost $4, I'm gonna play a video game that's free, until you realize the free video games, the way it's designed purposefully to engage you, to suck you in, to spend a lot of time, which time equals money, right? You're wasting some of your money and time there, time and money. And then even though it's a free game, you end up wasting your time, of course, and then maybe getting encouraged or enticed to buy all these little things, and before you know it, your free game is extremely expensive versus a game that you can pay for. So something to be aware of, but it's very serious for me to realize, like, people go cheap on their education, because education is really important to me. It's kind of where I got to where I am. Hiring good help, right? Good support team, a great accountant, CPA, like even me, I don't do my own financial planning. I have a colleague, I have 2 that I lean on, because you can't see the forest of the trees, kind of that saying goes. It's really good to have someone to help you be critical about your own planning. And like, I can cut my hair, but I don't, right? It's just, it's sometimes better to have someone else do it, because they can see from the angles that you cannot. Like the things that in my opinion, again, don't go cheap on protecting yourself, your family, the things you care about. Those things are really important. You don't want to overpay, but you don't want to get things that really, you're not getting what you're paying for, which is top priority protection, you know, so you can sleep well at night, you don't have to worry, things like that. And because they pay for themselves. There's a reason why people buy, you know, a brand name something, a purse, a car, or whatever, because there's real value there, versus something that they can get something similar, but it doesn't have that quality, right? So just be aware of that too. On the flip side of free is just to kind of bring this thing home for this discussion. And what we're talking about is really think about that, because sometimes cheap isn't good too. So, and sometimes expensive can just be, they're just marketing something expensive for the sake of being expensive, and it's not worth it, because that's kind of all fluff and it's all marketing, and it's kind of, you know, some brand. For me, I'm more practical. I don't care for the brand. I care about functionality and actual quality of the material and the thing. So that's how I spend my money. So with that is that, you know, at the end of the day, again, it's about being self-aware. Self-awareness is the best start. I think I've gotten to where I am today, just building good habits. It's being self-aware of just the quirks that I have around money and how I make certain financial decisions. There's things I don't know, and how I ask, just being more self-aware, and being more reflective, and having time to discuss things are very helpful. And this is one that it's kind of a fun topic. You can make up a list of how you whatever free that you got ended up costing you more. I mean, there was one that I just signed up for something, and actually I didn't sign up for something. I just stayed at a recent hotel, and of course they try to sell me on, they would give me more nights stay if I were to listen to their timeshare pitch, and so on and so forth. And I'm like, oh God, like you see that there's always a trade for something, right? So like they would entice you, and again, these are people, and the way they design their business model is very purposeful. It's there to really take advantage, and it works. So be mindful of that and arm yourself so you don't rob your, for your future retirement to something. Like another one is, I see this, and this is sad because I have a client that got addicted to gambling, and she shared with me her experience, and it's one that's really sad because they would give her free money to play, basically free hotel nights, free dinners, free shows, free transportation, just to make it really easy for her. And before you know it, she's a high status member. But boy, it turned out where it cost her hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's just so sad. So that price of free and all of that warm and fuzzy welcome that she got, that didn't work well for her. So, and it's sad that she learned that lesson the hard way. And so, and of course she's getting professional help. So there's that. So again, there's a lot of psychology behind how, people and businesses and how, marketing and the world of finance or the business world or just our economy works, right? So we need to kind of understand that, learn as much as possible, and also be self-aware of our own psychology, our own behavior and emotions, so we can be more prepared. I think that's the best we can do, and just know it. And so we can be better and better and better and better, because that at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is we become wiser with age, right? Is because we are just more self-aware and we have more experiences under our belt. And, that's, again, on the topic of personal finance is, we break it down to really, it's our investment of our time and money. It's how well we treat our time and money. It's how well we prioritize our time and money. It's how well we appreciate, we learn about it, our relationship with it, that matters. And so, so on this question, it's a great one, and it's one that I just really enjoy, talking about. So with that, please like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear what your money costing free experience is. And of course, there are folks that really know how to game the system as well too. But again, it goes back to, you have to be organized. You have to know to prioritize, right? And you have a good sense of your own finances, then you can really play to your advantage. But most people are not. And I see that, especially with those starting out, right? And again, they're talking about, wanting to invest and make hundreds of thousands of dollars and have high returns. But when I look back and do an assessment of just how they manage their finances, where their cash flow is, it's very obvious to me that the basis is not there. They don't have a really good, firm understanding of themselves around finance. So it's yes, I know the investing and all this stuff that people are talking about is very attractive, but it's the basis is that what they're missing. And it's to me, it would be disingenuous to just tell a client that that a relationship to say, oh yeah, let's do all this that you want, and it's going to solve all your problems and make you happier and better all the way around. No, it's the basic things. And so it's always a great conversation to have, and it's very enlightening because, always the feedback I get is they really don't ever had a conversation around money and finance, especially with their friends and family, and to the level that's not just surface, but some depth to it. And so it's interesting. Anyway, so until next time, thank you. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.